Thank you, and good morning, Madam President and members of the board. This morning, I'm going to start off my report regarding the health benefits program. I'll also touch briefly on the CalPERS amortization policy that was heard yesterday, and then bring you up to date on events and activities that are taking place both internally and externally. But first, I'd like to talk a little bit about Optum Rx around healthcare and pharmacy benefits. Of course, we are focused on keeping our members healthy while also providing affordable options to do so. And good prescription medication coverage is essential to positive health outcomes. As you know, and again, we heard in public comment again yesterday, there have been challenges with stabilizing the transition to Optum Rx. Yesterday, we heard about significant improvements in Optum's customer service. Leanna Bailey-Crimmins gave you an update on that. We also know that we have work still to do to get it to the level that our members deserve and CalPERS expects. I am continuing to have conversations with the CEO of Optum Rx, John Prince, who remains amenable to looking at policies within Optum Rx that may be having negative impacts on member experience. He has committed to continuing to work on this relationship, and we look forward to seeing what he comes up with. As many of you know, there aren't that many pharmacy benefit managers in the marketplace that can handle the size and scale of CalPERS, so it's really important that we are able to get this right. And I encourage our stakeholders to continue talking with us. We will listen to them and continue to talk to the board about problems that they are experiencing. So moving on to health negotiations, February is the time of year when our health teams will begin building on last year's successful health plan negotiations and start the process for 2019 and rates. Last year's negotiations, as you know, resulted in the lowest overall premium increase that CalPERS has seen in about 20 years. In addition to holding the line to contain costs for 2019, which include the pharmacy pricing strategies discussed yesterday, we'll continue looking for innovative ways to reduce the overuse of ineffective or unnecessary medical care and improving the health of our members through programs like the Silver Sneakers program. Combined with what we learned from the open enrollment results that were shared with the Pension and Health Benefits Committee, our teams will work with the plans to support these ongoing priorities. We will also be bringing you preliminary rates to review in May, with the final rates coming to you in June. Now on to the amortization policy. Protecting member benefits takes on many forms, and one of them is the amortization policy that was discussed yesterday. The vote the committee took yesterday is an important step in strengthening the fund for generations to come, as Priya indicated in her comments as well. And I really don't say that lightly, because the amortization policy does just that. It does prevent future generations from bearing the burden of paying for today's unfunded liabilities. And another major benefit of the new policy is that it will save employers money over the long term and will reduce their unfunded liability balances sooner. But we know that these decisions are difficult ones to make for the board, difficult for the team to bring to the board to make the decision, and the impacts to the employers are not easy. But we also know that these are actuarial best practices, and our professional team working at CalPERS and providing you the advice and the guidance that you need to make these decisions from is equally important. On to some events that we will be participating in outside of CalPERS. We have the CSMFO, which is the Municipal Finance Organization Conference. We do have leadership teams that will be attending that event in the next week. First up, again, is the California Society of Municipal Finance Officers Annual Conference on February 23rd. And we'll have a panel, a CalPERS panel. I will be facilitating a dialogue with Charles Azubanton, our CFO, and Fritzi Archuleta out of the Actuarial Office to address pension sustainability and its impact on our employers. It's a great opportunity to meet and talk with decision makers from cities throughout the state and to reinforce our commitment to do what it takes to strengthen the fund and our ability, our primary duty, which is to pay member benefits. I'm also looking forward to meeting with pension industry leaders at the California Association of Public Retirement Systems General Assembly on March 4th. I get the opportunity to talk about the CalPERS culture and how to really reinforce team engagement as part of an important culture for people to work and thrive in. As you know, Donna Lum is the recently elected president at CalPERS. And then speaking of team engagement, we had an outstanding leadership development event here last month to check in with CalPERS leaders on the work that they're doing to implement the 5 values around culture, which I have spoken about in the past. These principles are aimed at driving team engagement with organizational goals that ultimately improve customer satisfaction and also improve our operational efficiencies. We heard from several of them in a video we shared during the event, and I'd like to share that with you now. I think it's important from time to time to give you a glimpse into the organization and some of the work that's happening with the leadership and the teams. So if we could roll that video now, please.
So during the meeting with Marcie, I thought it was a pretty cool idea when she had suggested to send out a survey question. I got some clarification to find out exactly how did she send out the survey question and what was the survey question. And it was pretty simple. What would it take for you to be a fully satisfied team member? My nerves, that's what happened first. I was super scared when I sent out the email, and I was like, really didn't know what I was going to get back. And for the first couple of days, it was crickets, nothing, came about. I got some really positive feedback initially, so that was really good. Kind of like boosted up my ego a little bit. But then I also got some things that people wanted to have changed on the project. You kind of know as a manager some areas that you need to look into, but sometimes it comes down that you're only one person, you only have a minimum of 8 hours in the day, and you only could tackle so many problems. So some of the issues that the team brought to my attention, I kind of knew that they were there, and now I just needed to address them.
Well, the principle that stuck out the most to me and resonated was the reliable partner principle. In my role in HR, performance management and investigations, our business partners are the labor relations office, the legal office, the program leadership throughout the enterprise, and as those are our customers, we are expected to be a reliable partner to them. I thought I needed to listen more to our stakeholders, so I actually had some really good meetings recently with a couple program leaders, one from an investment office and one from a benefit services division. And I asked for some direct constructive feedback about the services we provide and what more we could be doing to be a better partner to them. And I brought that back to a team meeting and shared it with the team, talked about the pros, the cons, and then anything that we could improve on so that we could give better customer service and that our customers knew we would follow through on commitments. And so that went really well, and I think it's going to improve our services and my team's quality of work overall.
In ESPD, we were focused on effective and efficient operations because Marcie had been talking about it through our goals and objectives. And we were inspired by work that our Senior Leadership Council was doing on an exercise called Start, Stop, Keep.
And I think that, what it really focused on for us from a Start, Stop, Keep perspective is to look at our internal operations to see how we can better serve our customers. One of the things within that exercise in doing that, we wanted to engage our teams. And team engagement is really around providing opportunities for them to give us feedback, but also them being part of the solution.
The lens that we were looking through Start, Stop, Keep really opened it up for them in terms of what should we start doing to better serve our customers, what should we stop doing because it's not adding value, and what should we keep doing because it's working just right. And throughout that process, we were able to leverage Marcie's principles and the tools that were being provided to us by leadership development to help with that engagement.
It's really the buy-in, getting the team's buy-in on how to improve the business and your business processes and whatnot. And we found that because they were so involved in the process, they wanted and really they needed to be involved in the solution.
This year was more of a kind of getting up. What I did is I talked to them about the mission and vision of CalPERS. How is it that what they do each and every day contributes to getting us closer to the mission and vision, the impact that they have on our members and stakeholders. I started to see a lot of communication, a two-way communication. I started to see that they were committed to accomplishing their tasks. They took ownership and accountability, and they felt that they were self-driven. In other words, they have authority and autonomy to do their work. The first outcome that it was noticeable was the quality of work that I was getting from them, the response time. They were doing the work in a shorter time and quality. And then the other way I see it is they were growing, they were developing as employees. They were more up to take new challenges, and they were not afraid to make mistakes. We all learn by making mistakes. It's just not making the same mistake twice. And the other one is we're better able to serve our customers or internal customers. Employee engagement is almost that intangible substance that brings things together, that to me empowers the employee to self-growth professionally and personally, and creates accountability. So just being aware of that and practicing, each and every day.
So I'd like to take a moment to recognize the team members and leaders who volunteered to tell their stories, not only in the video, but sitting up here on this stage for the second part of the leadership series. And they are here in the audience today, so if we could give them a thank you. And then also the leadership development team out of the Human Resources Office and our video production team who does just amazing work on behalf of CalPERS. And this will be some of the work that I get to share on behalf of the team here at the CalPERS event, talking about team engagement and the strategies that our team leaders have really embraced. In addition to helping to develop leaders, we're working with the results of our employee engagement survey, which we received at the close of 2017. We were very pleased with a 70% response rate from our team, and the fact that we did exceed McLean & Company's benchmark score. We did learn also that more than half of our team members are fully engaged, exceeding expectations, and passionate about the work that they're doing. But we also have some work to do in the areas of accountability, recognition, and relationships with senior and executive management. And we are committed to coming up with actions that will improve those scores for next year. Getting back to some of the executive activities, Doug and I will also be joining leaders at the upcoming Government Operations Lean Conference. And this is the first meeting of this type here, and Maribel Badger is leading that effort and has asked us to participate. As you know, I'm a strong believer in Lean as a means to focus our processes on the customer and what adds value, and making sure that our employees and our teams are involved in the problem solving. And I have been able to see firsthand here at CalPERS how effective that can be in helping to improve job satisfaction. So that does conclude my report this morning, Madam President, and I'm happy to answer any questions.